I just had my second child, and I've just struggled a lot in life trying to find routines. I don't know, I was always just working for like the next thing, and I was focusing so much on like food or exercise at one time, and I've done nothing ever seems to have worked to like get rid of the weight. I had some like thyroid issues in the past, which then like just put on weight, or just put it all on, and I just like then couldn't get it off.
Yeah.
And then like was stressing with going to university to be a teacher, and then finally becoming a teacher, and then you find out like that's utterly stressful.
Yeah.
Like a lot of things changed in my life. Like I just became the person I wasn't happy with anymore. Like I was just a cranky person, just a stress head. Like I found I just didn't have any friends or like relationships. Even my own like relationship was just not good. Like we just weren't talking to each other nicely, and it became quite toxic. And so that's kind of like been my past. And so once I had my first son, I was just like, right, something's got to change. Like this, I can't continue to be like this, especially because I don't want to be that kind of role model. I think that's kind of where my journey kind of started, with realizing it's a lot more than just food and exercise. Like I've been trying to find for so long something that focuses on the mind. So when I found your Inspired Mumma, I just couldn't believe that it's exactly what I've been looking for, like the mindset side of it. So like I've done Benny Craig, light and easy, I've done calorie counting, macro counting, all of that kind of stuff. Like I'd lose weight, but then it would just always come straight back on. I knew what to do with food. I knew there's just something else had to happen. I was still this stress head. Like I was still cranky all the time. And I was just, everybody talks about mindset and self-love and like all these keywords, and you just go, what is it? And so I've been trying to find things of like, what do I do? Where do I start? I've tried programs in the past. Like I tried a program and they promised all of that, but it was nothing like that. It was it just focused on food, which again, I did learn a lot about food, a lot more about food. It wasn't enough. It was not enough. So
And also when I started talking to you were consistently exercising. So exercise was part of your routine. Like having the knowledge around the food and having an exercise routine and still not being able to get the results. What we discussed in that first call was that predominantly it was coming back to your stress.
Yeah.
When you felt like you were overwhelmed and you didn't have a routine and you couldn't feel like you could get on top of the home or the kids or your career and like manage it all, then you would kind of just go like, I can't manage my health right now. And then that's when it would end up pushed aside.
It would definitely get pushed aside. So like the exercise would stop. It would be a good month before I get back into it. Like the food, you kind of just go, why bother? Because it's too much. Like, so I think that was why I wasn't consistent in that respect. Like I was consistent for a good, 4 weeks or something. And then it would just, something would happen and I'd just get too stressed and it would just, go out the window. Oh, so much. Probably the biggest thing is to back yourself. Like I didn't realize how much I was relying on other people's opinions, just relying on other people for those
validation.
Validation. Yeah. That's probably the biggest thing, is like I've just got to back myself. I've got to trust what I'm doing is the best that I can do. And that is honestly like a game changer. So now I've got the confidence, like I've still got a long way to go, but now I'm like, no, I've got this, I can do this. Like the dialogue has shifted so much. I walk past a window now and I look at myself and I'm still not happy, but now I'm like, you know what? I'm working on it. I'm doing what I can, and I'm never going to be perfect. And that's the thing, you've got to remember, like you're never going to be perfect, but you're working towards being better. Plus just habits and tracking, like setting your week up. What do you want in that week? How can you fit it all in? And actually scheduling it in, like that is amazing. It seems the obvious thing to do.
But it's not easy. If it was that simple, everyone would be doing it. But when people aren't, like this is the thing though. I mean, we've discussed this at length, but people are given information and told what to do with their food and told how to exercise or whatever, and like it's just pushed on us. And this is what I used to struggle with. But then there was no picture as to like, where does that actually fit? And then how am I going to do it? And does that even work for me? And you found how to do it, not just when life's cooperating, when life's not cooperating as well, in those different seasons of life. which is why you're getting those results.
Even as simple as like what I want to do outside with the garden. Like now I'm actually doing things outside, scheduling, okay, this is just what I want to achieve, not this big massive thing. And I think it's just too much. And then I just don't do it. Like I've learned so much more, like just even having a good morning routine, how much that sets you up for the day, getting your mind in the right space so you can handle those 2-year-olds running around.
O'Reilly on the floor.
Everything. I think my whole day is different now. It's as simple as like getting up and meditating. That I never did. I never saw the value in that. I never saw like the value in writing in a diary. I cannot believe how good that feels to write, to get everything out of your head.
Also about, I mean, your stress management, given that that was your biggest derailing factor prior, now that you're managing your stress better and you've got an output for it, rather than like making yourself sick or making your relationship sick as a result of it, then you're actually processing it.
Yeah.
And that's like made such a difference to your emotional stability. And of course, then your eating habits, or how consistent you are with your exercise, or that sort of stuff. And that comes from a technique that people don't even associate with weight loss.
And the stress-free zone, getting into that. I have to think when I do my 4 eyes tracker over night time, did I get into that stress-free zone? Because it's just such a habit. I don't even realize I'm doing it now. Just things like putting on music, or I'll just say to Jack, I'm getting a bit cranky now. And I just explain it to him. I'm getting cranky now. We need to stop what we're doing and I'll just turn up the music and we'll have a dance, or we'll just get outside. Like we'll just leave everything that we're doing inside and just go outside. Even audiobooks, which I've never ever done. I'm now listening to audiobooks and loving them. Yes, there's a lot of things that I'm doing now that I never did before. Like my partner's a bit of a fussy eater, very basic veggies, and also because of his job, his meals get put into like a pie oven, so they sit in there for a very long time and become quite dry. So you can only cook certain things that will last in there. And yeah, so I have to cook like separate meals for my partner and for myself. But I've just learned now to be smart about it, I suppose. Just being smart about it and working out how to use the same kind of meat and all of that, and then making it friendly for me and my son, and then friendly for him, for my partner. Yeah, I used to have a lot of anxiety around that every week, trying to map it out and how to do it all. I think just having like my little diary and just looking at the week ahead and just working out where those non-negotiables are going to fit. So in the past, there was just no thinking about it. You just kind of jumped into it and dealt with it. There was, things like food planning. There was none of that. Whereas now, definitely just going through the week and going, okay, right, yes, it's enjoy this meal, enjoy that cake, but I'm, going to say no to, rather than traveling and having fast food, I'll make sure that I pack after traveling now. I don't want to go back now. Like I've just made so much progress in 12 weeks. I've made so much progress that I've tried to do in the past, 30 years. And I just don't want to go back now. I just want to keep pushing forward. And I think the fact that it wasn't just push, like it's not a push for just 12 weeks. It's everything's about long term. Like I've got long-term visions now. Like I've got a vision board that I see every day and it's always there in my face. And now I know that that's the goal. That's where I want to go. Yeah.
And also what you've set up is not burning you out.
Yeah, exactly. And so I've just learned a lot about listening to my body, because otherwise it just becomes like this thing that you don't want to do. Yeah.
You haven't even spoken about this. You have Hashimoto's. So how is all that going?
I wouldn't even know I've got it at the moment. And B12 deficiency. So I need injections every 3 months. Last year I was going back to them early saying I need a shot now. Whereas this time I don't even know that I need a shot. Yeah, it's crazy. Like I've had between that and sick partner and kids and everything, and I've not felt it. Like I've not gotten sick and I've still got the energy to race around and look after everyone. Yeah, it's incredible.
You're mentally and physically in such a different space. You should be so happy with yourself.
Definitely.
I'm so happy for you.
Yeah, I can't believe it.